Life is short, live every day for God. Life is short. Every sunrise, every breath, every heartbeat is a gift given to us by the Creator Himself. Too often, we take these precious moments for granted, assuming that we have forever. But the truth is, none of us are promised tomorrow. That's why we must live every day as if it truly matters for God and for His purpose. When you wake up in the morning and feel the light on your face, thank God. When you walk through your day, face its challenges, embrace its opportunities, do it all for Him. Remember that each action, each decision, is either drawing you closer to God or pulling you further away. Life is fleeting like a mist that appears for a short time and then vanishes. It passes in the blink of an eye. The question is not how long we live, but how well we live. What will we leave behind? What will echo into eternity? You and I were created with a divine purpose. The God who spoke the universe into being took time to shape you, your passions, your gifts, your story, all so you could live a life that reflects His light and His love. Don't wait for the perfect moment to follow Him. Don't put off your calling. Don't wait for another day to forgive, to help someone in need, to draw closer to Him. Start now, because every moment is a gift and every breath is a chance to live for His glory. There will be hardships, there will be obstacles. Life will sometimes feel heavy and uncertain. But when you live for God, even the difficult seasons have meaning. Even your pain can be used for a greater purpose. Every trial becomes a testimony of His faithfulness. Every setback becomes a setup for Him to show His power. And every day you choose to follow Him, your heart becomes more like His, filled with compassion, strength, and unshakable hope. So don't waste another day. Be present, be grateful, be bold in your faith. Let your light shine so brightly that others will see it and want to know the source. Choose to live every moment for His purpose. Let the world see Jesus in the way you live, love, forgive, and serve. Your life is too short to live for anything less than eternity. Trust Him with every plan, surrender every worry into His hands, and embrace every day like it's a divine gift, because it is. When all is said and done, let it be said that you spent your life making His name known. Let it be said that you didn't hold back, that you ran the race with passion, purpose, and unwavering devotion to God. Life is short, live every day for Him, today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Every breath is a gift, don't waste it. Every breath you take is a gift from God. It's easy to forget this truth as we rush through our busy lives. Too often, we live as if tomorrow is guaranteed, making plans for the future, assuming that we'll have endless time. But the reality is that none of us knows what tomorrow holds. Every single breath is precious, a divine reminder that you're here for a reason and your time on this earth matters. When you wake up in the morning and draw that first deep breath, it's a moment of grace. It's God saying, here is another day, another chance, another opportunity to live fully. Don't take that for granted. Breathe in gratitude, breathe in purpose, breathe in the awareness that this day is not an accident, it's an appointment. Yet so often we live on autopilot. We worry too much about trivial things, chase after fleeting pleasures, and lose sight of what truly matters. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and without realizing it, we find ourselves further away from the kind of life that honors God. Every breath wasted on negativity, resentment, and fear is a breath that could have been spent in praise, love, and service. That's why today matters, this moment matters, the decisions you make, big and small, matter. Every word you speak, every action you take, every prayer you whisper into the silence shapes the story you are telling with your life. Let that story glorify God. Let your breath become a hymn of thanksgiving. The psalmist wrote, "Let everything that has breath praise the Lord," Psalm 150:6. That includes you. Every inhale and exhale is a quiet reminder that you are alive for a reason greater than yourself. Praise doesn't have to be loud or grand. It can be as simple as choosing to forgive someone who hurt you. It can be as quiet as offering a kind word to a stranger. It can be as personal as spending time in prayer, thanking God for this very breath. And as you go about your day, remember that you carry the breath of God within you. Genesis tells us that the Lord Himself breathed into Adam the breath of life. That divine breath is still inside you. Don't use it to tear others down. Don't waste it complaining or spreading hopelessness. Let every breath reflect the God who gave it to you. When you recognize that each breath is a gift, fear loses its grip on you. Death loses its sting, stress loses its power. Why? Because you begin to live in the awareness that God is in control of your time. You can trust Him with the unknown, the future you can't see. It's already held in the hands of the one who gave you your first breath. And when hardships come, as they inevitably will, lean into your breath as a reminder of God's nearness. In moments of sorrow, pain, or uncertainty, simply pause and breathe. Close your eyes, inhale slowly, and remember, God is as close as your breath. He hasn't left you, and He never will. Every breath you draw is a whisper of His presence and His promise to sustain you. And because every breath is a gift, it also comes with responsibility. The way you live your life matters to God. What will you do with the breath you have left? Will you live a life of purpose, using your breath to speak life into others, to fight for justice, to serve those in need, and to walk humbly with your Creator? Or will you spend your days merely existing, allowing fear or apathy to steal the gift God has given you? Remember this: one day you will draw your final breath. When that day comes, may it find you at peace with your Maker. May it find you having spent your breath, every last one, in a way that brought Him glory. Let it be a moment that you can face without regret, because you embraced every breath as a treasure. You treated every day as sacred. You invested your time and energy in things that matter forever. Your life, your breath, is part of a greater story, one that began long before you and will continue long after. So don't wait. Start living with purpose right now. Speak kindly, love generously, give sacrificially, pray continuously, serve humbly, praise often. Let every breath draw you closer to your God. Every breath is a gift, don't waste it. Live your life so fully, so faithfully, that when your time here is complete, your final breath will be a gentle exhale into eternity, carried home by the very one who gave it to you. That is the life God invites you to live. That is the legacy He invites you to leave. And that is the beautiful, sacred gift of every breath. Living with eternal purpose in a temporary world. Every day we live in a world that reminds us of how fleeting life is. Seasons change, people come and go, and even our own bodies grow older with time. The world tells us to chase after success, comfort, and temporary pleasures as if this is all there is. But deep within, we know that we were created for something greater. We were made for eternity, for a purpose that reaches far beyond this short time on earth. When we live only for the temporary, for material wealth, status, or fleeting approval, we will always feel empty at the end of the day. That's because these things can never truly satisfy the eternal soul inside of us. The Bible reminds us that He has also set eternity in the human heart. Ecclesiastes 3:11. You and I were created for forever, created to live with an eternal purpose in a world that will one day pass away. Living with eternal purpose means understanding that your life is part of a much bigger story, God's story. Every breath you take, every talent you have, every opportunity before you is part of His plan to reflect His light in this dark world. And when you embrace that eternal purpose, your priorities begin to shift. Suddenly, it's not just about what you can gain or what you can achieve, it's about what you can give and who you can become. Jesus Himself showed us what it looks like to live with eternal purpose. Even though He could have had all the riches and power this world offers, He chose to live humbly, sacrificially, and in constant obedience to His Father. Every action, every word, every prayer was driven by an eternal focus to do the will of God and to bring salvation to humanity. And that same invitation is extended to you. You are here not to live for yourself, but to live for something greater, for the glory of God. When you live with eternal purpose, you see every moment as a chance to serve Him. That means you don't just wait for big, dramatic moments to do something meaningful. You recognize that even small things matter in the light of eternity. Whether it's offering a kind word to someone hurting, standing up for truth, choosing integrity when nobody's watching, or sharing your faith with someone who needs hope. These are eternal seeds you're sowing every day. And one day, when this life is over, those seeds will bear eternal fruit. But we cannot live with eternal purpose if we are consumed by the noise and distractions of this world. Too often, we lose sight of eternity because we're busy chasing things that don't last. The world will scream for your attention, telling you that you need more stuff, more followers, more entertainment. It will try to convince you that your value is measured by your success, your looks, your status. But none of that will matter when you stand before your Creator. What will matter is whether you loved Him and loved others. What will matter is whether you invested your life into something that will last forever. That's why Jesus told us, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven." Matthew 6:19-20. True treasure cannot be measured by what we have on this earth. It's measured by what we do for God, for His kingdom, and for others. Every act of compassion, every moment of obedience, every prayer whispered in faith, these are the treasures that last. Living with eternal purpose also brings a sense of freedom. When you know your true home is in eternity, you can hold this life more loosely. The pressures to have it all and be it all lose their grip on you. You become less concerned with pleasing people and more focused on pleasing God. Fear loses its power because you recognize that your future is held by the one who is eternal. Even in hardships, you have a deeper joy because you know this world is not the end of the story, it's only the beginning. And when you live with eternity in view, every day becomes a gift. Nothing is wasted, not even pain, not even loss. God can take even the most difficult circumstances and use them to grow your character and draw you closer to Him. Your trials become a testimony. Your scars become a story of His grace. Every breath, every heartbeat becomes an offering. So embrace eternal purpose. Let go of the chase for things that will never last, and cling to what will matter forever, loving God with all your heart and loving the people He's placed in your life. Run your race knowing that at the finish line, you will hear those beautiful words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." This is what it looks like to live with eternal purpose in a temporary world. It is a life built on God's promises, sustained by His strength and guided by His Spirit. And one day, when you leave this world behind, your soul will awaken to eternity, and you'll see clearly that every choice you made to live for Him was more than worth it. Seize the moment. Life is too short to wait. Life is short. Every sunrise is a reminder that the clock is ticking, and none of us truly knows how much time we have left. Too often, we live as though there will always be another day, putting off our dreams, waiting for the perfect moment, telling ourselves we'll change or take action someday. But that someday might never come. The time to live fully, to love deeply, to chase your purpose is right now. Seizing the moment means embracing the reality that this life is fleeting. It's understanding that every breath we take is a gift and an invitation to live with boldness and intention. It's not about recklessness, it's about recognizing that fear, hesitation, and procrastination rob us of the fullness of life God created us to live. When you hesitate too long, moments pass by forever. But when you embrace the present with courage, you begin to see that every day is an opportunity to grow, to serve, and to shine. So many people spend years waiting for the perfect time, the perfect career, the perfect circumstances, the perfect amount of money before they take a leap of faith. But perfection is an illusion. Life is rarely neat and tidy. Waiting for all the pieces to fall into place will leave you forever standing still. The most meaningful journeys begin not with everything figured out, but with a willingness to take the first step, trusting that God will guide your path as you go. We must also remember that life is too short to let fear and doubt hold us back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These are some of the greatest thieves of our time and joy. They convince us to stay in our comfort zone and live small, convincing us that safety is better than purpose. But God didn't give you a spirit of fear. He gave you a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. That means you have the strength and the wisdom to face your fears and take action. Imagine if we approached every day with that mindset, realizing that this is the only today. We get, and God has placed you here for a reason. You were created with a purpose. That idea is powerful. It reminds us that your time, your talents, your passions, and your dreams matter. They matter to God. And they matter to the people around you who need the light you carry. Seizing the moment also means showing up fully for the people you love. How often do we take loved ones for granted, assuming they'll always be there tomorrow? Life is fragile, and relationships are precious. Don't wait to forgive, to say, "I love you," to spend time together, or to mend a broken bridge. Every second with someone you care about is a gift. Treasure those moments and live them wholeheartedly. And what about your calling? Too often we wait to do what we know God is stirring in our hearts. Whether it's starting a ministry, writing that book, reaching out to someone who's struggling, or making a life-changing career decision, don't wait for perfect conditions. Trust that God equips those He calls. Trust that the Holy Spirit will lead you as you go. Be obedient to the small, quiet prompts that nudge your heart. That's where purpose begins, one small, faithful yes at a time. Living with this mindset also requires you to embrace gratitude. Every day may not be easy, but every day is still a miracle. Gratitude opens your eyes to the beauty and the blessings you might otherwise overlook. Thank God for the sunrise, for your loved ones, for the strength to face another day. The more thankful you become, the more you'll recognize how much of this life is grace, and that will give you the courage to make the most of every moment. And don't waste your time worrying about what other people think. One of the greatest regrets people have at the end of their lives is that they spent too much time trying to please others or fit into expectations that were never truly theirs. Be bold enough to live your story, not someone else's. Seek God's approval before anyone else's, and live with integrity, authenticity, and faithfulness to who He created you to be. Seizing the moment also means surrendering the need for control. You can plan and prepare, but you can't control every outcome, and that's okay. Let go of the fear that comes from the unknown. Trust that God is working even when you cannot see the whole picture. Every moment surrendered to Him becomes an opportunity for His power to show up in your life. Finally, never forget this: life is too short to put off the things that matter most. The conversations you've been avoiding, the dreams you've been delaying, the faith you've been hesitant to fully embrace, don't wait. Step out, speak up, and live boldly now. Jesus Himself reminds us, "I have come that they may have life, and have it to the full," John 10:10. That full life is here waiting for you to seize it. So make a choice today. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission. Seize this moment, because life is too short to wait. Your life as a testimony of God's grace. Your life is not an accident. Every part of your story, the good, the bad, the triumphs, the trials, is a testimony of God's grace at work. The fact that you are here today, still standing, is proof that His mercy has carried you further than you could ever go on your own. Even when you felt broken, lost, or unworthy, God's grace was still writing your story, a story that can point someone else to the God who never gives up on us. When we talk about grace, we mean God's unearned favor. It's the love you cannot deserve and cannot lose. It reaches into the darkest places of our hearts and whispers, "You are mine." It pulls us up when we feel too weak to go on, reminds us of who we are when the world tries to tell us we're not enough. That grace is why you are here, and it's why your life, with all its imperfections, is one of God's most powerful messages to the world. Your testimony begins with the acknowledgement that you didn't do this on your own. None of us can. Every good thing in our lives, every victory, every breakthrough is because God is good, not because we are perfect. His grace is greater than our mistakes, greater than our fears, greater than our failures. That is why your testimony matters so much. It's not a story about your greatness, it's a story about His. And when you embrace that, you stop feeling like you have to hide your struggles or pretend to be someone you're not. You realize that God can use even your weakest places as part of His powerful message. What the world often sees as scars and shortcomings, God sees as proof that His grace is real and alive. Every wound you have can become a testimony of His healing. Every failure you've experienced can show someone else that God truly restores. Every moment of darkness you survived is proof that the light of His grace shines even brighter. Your life is a living, breathing testimony of a God who never left you even when you walked away. Every prayer answered, every miracle witnessed, every second chance given speaks of a Savior who doesn't give up. Even the chapters you wish you could erase, God can use for good. That's what grace does. It redeems what looks hopeless and turns it into a message of hope for others. You don't need a perfect past to have a powerful testimony. In fact, the most powerful testimonies often come from the most imperfect stories. Think about the people in the Bible who were radically changed by grace. Paul, who once persecuted Christians, became one of the greatest apostles. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, but was restored and became the rock of the early church. The woman at the well had a complicated past, yet one encounter with Jesus changed her so deeply that she led an entire town to Him. Every one of these people could have been defined by their past mistakes, but instead, they became living examples of what God's grace can do, and the same is true for you. Every struggle you thought would disqualify you, God can use to draw someone closer to Him. Every prayer you thought went unanswered might one day be part of someone else's encouragement. Every time you felt lost and then were found by God will become a part of your message. Nothing is wasted in the hands of a gracious God. That's why it's so important to live as a testimony, not just to tell your story once, but to live it every single day. You do that by walking in humility, by showing compassion, by forgiving quickly and loving generously. Let your choices reflect the one who saved you. Let your character speak louder than your words. Let your peace in difficult times, your patience in waiting, and your joy in the middle of hardship point people to the source of your strength. And when people see you, they will see more than just a person who's got it all together. They will see someone who is real, someone who has been shaped and changed by a real God. They will see a testimony of His grace that reaches beyond Sunday mornings and into everyday life. That's where grace shines the brightest, in the way you live when nobody's looking, in the way you love those who are hard to love, in the way you trust God even when life doesn't make sense. Your life is a story in progress, and every chapter is an opportunity to testify to God's goodness. Whether you're on a mountaintop or in a valley, His grace is present. Whether you feel strong or weak, certain or uncertain, you can trust that God is working all things together for your good and His glory. So embrace your story with all its twists and turns. Let your life be a testimony of His unending grace, so that whoever crosses your path can see that God truly can do anything with a heart that's yielded to Him. The world doesn't need to see perfect people. It needs to see real people who have been changed by a perfect God. Your life is His message. Live it boldly, live it honestly, and let it reflect His grace every single day. No time for regrets. Live fully for His glory. Every moment you've been given is precious. Every breath in your lungs, every beat of your heart is a reminder that your life is a gift, one that cannot be wasted. Too often, we live looking backward, consumed by what-ifs and if-onlys, regretting things we can't change. But God's heart for you is not to live trapped by regret. He calls you into something far greater, to live fully, fearlessly, and faithfully for His glory. Your past does not define you. The choices you wish you hadn't made, the seasons you wish you could redo, they don't have the final say. When you place your life in God's hands, even the messiest parts of your story can be redeemed. His grace is greater than every failure. His mercy is deeper than every mistake. That is why there is no time for regret, because every day you wake up is another chance to embrace His plan for you. God reminds us in His Word that life is like a vapor, here one moment and gone the next. James 4:14. That's not meant to frighten us, it's meant to focus us. When we truly grasp the shortness of life, we begin to live with a new sense of purpose. We stop putting off the things that matter most, like telling someone we love them, stepping out in faith when God is calling us, or finally forgiving someone who hurt us. The time to do those things is not someday, it's now. And when you live fully for His glory, your days take on eternal significance. Every decision you make, every action you take, can be a reflection of His light. Whether you're serving in big, visible ways, or simply being kind and faithful in the everyday moments that nobody else sees, it all matters. Nothing is insignificant when it's offered to God, so don't hold back. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because that moment may never come. Instead, live boldly with the knowledge that God is with you. Trust that His strength will carry you when you feel weak, that His wisdom will guide you when you feel uncertain, and that His love will hold you when you feel alone. Let go of the fear that tells you you're not enough or that you'll never measure up. God created you with a purpose to glorify Him, and that is the most fulfilling and significant way you could ever live. Living for His glory also means living with integrity and authenticity. It means choosing what honors Him even when it's hard or unpopular. It means putting His will above your own ambitions, knowing that His plan is always better than anything we could dream up on our own. It means loving people sacrificially, telling the truth even when it costs you, and standing for what's right even if it means standing alone. It's in those everyday choices that we glorify Him most, and this kind of life is what breaks the chains of regret. When you know you're living fully for God, you stop looking back with guilt and shame. Even the mistakes you've made in the past become part of your testimony, proof of His goodness and His power to restore. Every morning is a blank page, an invitation to live for Him. Every evening is a reminder that His grace is sufficient. Regret no longer defines you, His love does. Your time is too valuable to spend looking backward. The enemy would love nothing more than to keep you stuck in regret, replaying your mistakes until they steal your joy and your sense of purpose. But God is calling you into freedom. Jesus came so that you could live abundantly with passion, with purpose, and with peace. Don't let regret rob you of that. Lay your past at His feet, receive His forgiveness, and move forward with confidence that your life can and will glorify Him. And this is the most beautiful thing of all. When you live fully for God's glory, your life becomes a light to others. People around you will see the joy and freedom you have and wonder where it comes from. They'll see that you don't carry regret like a burden, you carry hope like a banner. They'll see that you live differently, not because you never make mistakes, but because you know the one who redeems every mistake. And they'll want to know Him too. Your life is a story only you can tell, and it's a story that can reflect the greatness and goodness of your Creator. So live fully. Pour yourself into what matters. Speak life into those around you. Chase after the dreams God has put in your heart, and do it all with an awareness that time is fleeting and eternity is forever. No more looking back with regret. No more standing still in fear. This is your moment. Live with purpose. Live with passion. Live for His glory, because when you do, every single day becomes a song of praise to the one who gave you life.